Oh, I gotta mute this page. There. Okay. Couple of announcements before we get started. Starting over. 2 minutes lost. I'm a professional, I swear. First things first, schedule. The next A Blaze of Cruelty game is on the 16th of September. Same time, 5:30 p.m. US East, so if you're able to come, we'd love to have you. Second thing that I want to bring up is I've disabled the Fujitech Discord reactive because it's not working. It's got everybody stuck in the same position. It just looks bad. So if it's not going to be helpful, I'm going to turn it off. Third thing, please don't backseat my players or backseat DM. I largely don't care because we kind of operate off of a little bit of rule of cool and a little bit of rules as written. So we, if we got something wrong and it's detrimental to the players or something, you can bring it up in the Discord if you'd like after the game. That's perfectly fine, and we'll discuss it. Maybe there was an ulterior motive, like there was something that I was aware of behind the scenes that you may not be aware of, but largely trust me to run the game. Largely, I run these games for the benefit of my players, and you guys get to sit and watch as part of the audience, as if you're at the table, and that's your privilege, right? Aside from that, I hope you guys have a great time. Just be kind to each other, be kind to my players, be kind to me, and nobody will have to punish you, okay? Third thing, this is a role-playing experience, and this might be the fourth thing. This is a role-playing experience, and a lot of stuff is going to get improv'd. And if something uncomfortable happens, feel free to step away for a moment and come back when you feel better, okay? You don't want to hurt anybody. No one here is going to say anything with the intentions of hurting anybody or making anyone feel uncomfortable, but sometimes stuff happens. Sometimes cursed RP happens, okay? Relax, step away if you need to, and come back in when you feel better. Okay? Alright. Now I'm going to do our read-in, and then we will introduce our players real quick, and then I will begin our narrative read-in. Okay? So this is going to be the backdrop information for you all, so you recall what was going on in the world of Valgast. Maybe you have seen the prologues, maybe you haven't. So, this game, A Blaze of Cruelty, is set in the year 1047 AJ during the early spring, roughly 1 year after the events of Prison of Al-Hadun. It is during this period that there are some significant changes in the landscape of Cruelty from the perspective of the people. For starters, a lot of the able-bodied youth have been either drafted or have joined the war effort in some way. This includes the children of nobles and other prominent families. It is during this early war period where the kingdom tapped too much of its manpower and that a sinister threat has begun to become more commonplace. In some of the more remote villages, people have been going missing. Entire towns are being vacated or abandoned, including the local garrisons. While the military suspects some mass desertion may be going on, they do not have the resources to deal with it directly. The military is generally loath to contract with any sort of adventuring group, as it tends to provide adequate safety for the populace as a whole. However, during this time, there's enough of a gap for an adventuring party to be able to make some good money off the crown, checking out these villages and following up leads. So far, no parties have been able to determine any actual cause as to the abandonment of the towns or the desertion of the garrisons. Meanwhile, Calvin Ariash, a prominent son of a prominent family, is in dire trouble. He is having blackout periods, waking up in places he hasn't expected to be. When First Expeditionary was recalled at the end of last winter, he went back to Helcorth. He blacked out one night in his barracks and woke up in Scaraptica. Then he woke up near his family home. He reported to his father and went missing again. He was last seen in the general area of Sorath. The Ariash have a reward of 10,000 writs out for his safe return. The military has marked him as missing in action out of respect for the family, though there is a rumor that he has deserted due to the horror he saw while deployed as leader in 1st Expeditionary. At the same time, the Talian Crusade has begun their invasion of southern Corinth in earnest. Many civilians that haven't already evacuated the south are heading north in refugee trains. Cheyenne, Ansai, and Scaldi peoples are leaving the south as well. This causes some strife between these refugee peoples and the Corinthians in the north. Okay, so any questions about the backdrop of what's going on, real quick, players?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Big old lore dump. All right. Let's go ahead and introduce yourselves, and we'll get to your character organically. But yourselves first. So let's start with you, Daniel.
Yeah, so I am playing Timothy,
Mm-hmm.
a paladin
Yep.
who is wandering the woods currently after having woken up abruptly.
Yep.
I am wearing some chainmail, some clothes that I found, as well as a hood to kind of hide some recently acquired burn marks.
Sure. Okay. Raven, go ahead.
I am playing James or Norris, a human bard warlock, multi-class. He has a semi-long, uncombed hair and a beard, and is often seen wearing pretty common clothes.
Okay. And go ahead, Gabby.
Hi, I'm Gabby. Longtime player of Az's. I've been in a couple games, couple live games, couple online games. Today I am playing Vera, who has appeared before in the Valga setting, and she is a military-based half-drow barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also filling in for one of our players who is not here today.
Yes, you are filling in for the player of Rianne Vera Ardesta. Sin is not here today due to a prior commitment, but she will be here in 2 weeks on the 16th. Okay. Let me do my read in. And, okay. So, this, I guess if we had to call this like a season or a part, as in like in a book or that kind of thing. You know how books break up things by part and then chapter, when TV series break them up by seasons. This large part of A Blaze of Cruelty is called Wiping Sunlight from My Dreary Eyes. And the narrative begins. A brisk breeze blows into the city of Fordath, a place that is known in the ancient Cruic tongue as Last Bastion. With the wind, the city wakes as the sun crests over the eastern Darthax. Fordath is a city that is shaking off the hangover of 2 years of supporting a war that now marches onto its doorstep. The front line is far, and the reality of it has not yet sunken in fully for many. Yet for others, it is all too real. 1st Expeditionary, the force that has fought for 2 years to keep the Talian Crusade at bay, has disbanded upon their return to Helcorth. 1 in 5 survived, and 1 in 10 of those survivors returns to service. The majority never make it home. Spring has come again, and with it renewal. It is Floros, almost, of 1047. A new year has begun, and we open up on the Serpent's Head Inn, which is in Sorath. dozens of miles to the south. A sleepy burg that is on the main highway between the north and the south of Cruelty. Rain has finally ended, the rainy season that is, and the last of a series of grim faces arrives on the threshold. We begin our tale with Timothy, a young nobleman whose life has utterly changed in the last fortnight. Bloodshed and betrayal covers his thoughts, memories of both inflicted upon him. He stumbles forth, barely recovered from his wounds, and through the door of perhaps one of the shadiest taverns in the country. So let me go ahead and open up your scene here. Here you are, Timothy. This is you. Right here. I gotta move time forward just a tad because it is not 2 a.m. in the morning. It is actually about 7, almost 7. Okay. And if you'd like to describe your character in any greater detail, Timothy, now is your chance.
Yeah, so Timothy is pretty average in build and height. He's about 5'10". Again, his clothes are kind of torn and mismatched. He has a hood on, and he looks a little haggard as he comes in. A little overly cautious, like he keeps glancing over his shoulder.
You shut the door behind you?
Yep.
Okay. Your entry does not go unnoticed. A pair of women sitting at the nearby bar eye you. They are strange to you. Their skin is dark, and one of them has white hair. Vera, go ahead and describe your character in any greater detail if you'd like.
Sure, thank you. So Rianne and Vera clearly have an air of familiarity about them. They have in front of them each an ale, and between them is a third that is untouched. But when you enter the tavern, they clearly have the look of those that have kind of seen some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Always know where the exits are, have an escape plan ready, be aware of surroundings. So it's kind of with that caution that they notice anybody entering that changes the space. And they both kind of have kind of like a square to their shoulders and seem determined and resigned at the same time, if that makes sense, while they're talking and drinking.
There is an older gentleman, maybe your brother's age, Timothy, by the fireplace. And James, if you'd like to describe yourself in further depth, now is your chance.
Jamie was sitting in a chair, uh, working on a small piece of wood with a tiny knife. As soon as Timothy entered, he looked over his shoulder for a moment and looked back at his work, continuing with what he was carving out.
As you step in out of the chilly air, you see these 3 people and the bartender, and that's it. Not another soul in this dreary inn. You've heard it was sleazy. Its reputation undermines it. It is at best cozy, at worst underpatronized. Why, there isn't even a rat slinking along the floor. Perhaps the place has cleaned up its act. Regardless, it is time to get back into the swing of things. There's revenge to get after and payment for cruelty done. This scene is yours, everyone.
Well, the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to walk up to the bartender and get a sense of who's behind the bar.
Okay. She is cleaning a glass and well, more of a tin cup, and she turns and nods and says, "Thank you for your patronage. What can I get you?"
Actually, I've had a bit of a run of misfortune recently, and I was wondering if there was any skills or services I could trade for a room for the evening.
Hmm. Well, you look like you're capable. Could use some help with the floors at the end of the evening.
Timothy's going to nod along. That would be fine.
It is morning, however, so if you'd like to pull up a chair or find a table, that's fine with me. I'm Sigrid.
Thank you, Sigrid.
Okay, and I will add observer status to Sigrid for everyone. Sigrid you can find in the player journal under characters. She is a human woman, and she looks like she's already seen her fair share of life despite her young age. She's got a little bit of a sort of grim demeanor about her. She usually dresses in a fashion that could be considered mannish, wearing sleek breeches and collared shirts. She has dark brown hair. Her skin's a little bit reddish, more like a reddish brown. She's a little bit on the bulkier side. Her voice is sort of strained when she speaks, and she appears nervous, largely. Her eyes are also a reddish brown. She's roughly 5'8".
Being the interaction, Vera will sling a bunch of coins your way. Kind of nonchalantly, but just say no one should have to clean a floor for a beer.
Well, I won't say no to a free beer.
Okay, how much money do you pass his way?
She probably didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it. Probably like, I don't know, 5 gold.
Okay. You can send that, I think, via the trade system in the bottom left.
I will try my best.
And if it doesn't work, I'll just adjust. Is the clock for you guys still showing like 1 in the morning?
156.
It's okay, so it's 6 a.m. on my end. Hold on, let me see. Something.
I don't even see a clock.
Okay, there we go.
How exactly do I try with to trade currency? There it is. I found it. My
Okay.
apologies.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's not updating over here. Okay, so you have received 5 gold pieces. All of you now have access to the Serpent's Head Inn as a shop under your player journal, under Sorath, under places. They have such things as dragon fruit trips, juice, a pale ale, a slumber tea, some red wine, some white wine, milk, muffins, sandwiches, steamed vegetables. strawberries, more red wine, a blush, and some red spice tea. Not a whole lot available for a inn that is just inside the city walls and seems to have high traffic.
Timothy will look back over to Sigrid and ask her, now that I have some currency, how much for a meal and an ale?
A meal and a... Sorry, that's me. She doesn't do that. A meal and an ale. If you'd like a sandwich and a beer, that would be 3 silver and 3 copper. 3 silver core and 4 silver core, rather, and 3 copper pieces. 3 zinc. She kind of stumbles over herself out of nerves.
Timothy will pass over one of the gold coins.
Okay, and she will make change for you. And then she will go into the back and bring a sandwich along. Okay. Yeah, you receive a pale ale and a sandwich.
Timothy's going to go ahead and eat, but can I do a perception check to kind of gain some more insight of the other people in the tavern?
Absolutely. Visually speaking, these two seem to be related. You may be making that assumption because they are both darkened skin women and they have similar features. This man seems to be a bit of a loner, a little bit worn down by the road. In fact, Vera, go ahead and give me a perception check on it from your end as well. And James, if there's any point you would like to hop in on this, feel free. This is your seat for all 3 of you. Timothy, how well are you hiding that saber you received from your strange benefactor?
Not very well at all.
Okay. Veracasa, you see strapped to this man who just came in out of the torrential rains, the very end of the rainy season, is carrying a cusp saber, a very ornate one, much more decorated and austere than your own, and yours is an heirloom.
Would she have also noticed this fellow checking them out?
Of course. Of course, yeah. I don't believe you were being subtle, were you, Timothy?
No.
So she'll raise an eyebrow and say, you can just ask. That's kind of the nature of a tavern.
I didn't realize I was being so obvious.
You're a bit noticeable, and she's looking at the saber.
Timothy's going to look down at his waist and kind of look at the saber as well, and then kind of shift around and try to cover it more with his cloak. Yes, well, I suppose it does stand out a little bit.
Where did you get something as fine as that?
It's not for sale, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, no, I have one of my own. And she'll kind of like shift around a little bit. She's wearing her military gear and show that she has one as well. It's lightly ruined.
Yes, I suppose most people do carry around a sword.
These days, it's better to have one than not.
Okay, I'm gonna call for our campaign's first sanity roll. Timothy, go ahead and make a sanity roll for me. You want to get over a 10. Very good. As you are being questioned by this woman, the paranoia that has become part of your life after the past fortnight subsides.
Maybe you can answer a question for me now that I think about it.
Sure.
Where did you come by your sword there?
Mine has been passed down in my family for generations. It's been ours, so nothing so fancy a story.
Are swords like this common?
Is that to me or to the DM?
That's to you.
I am gonna kind of ask the DM in particular. I imagine probably not
Only,
as much.
only among your own people. They are not commonly used by Corinthians. Usually, from your own experience, I'm not going to ask you to roll for this because this is something that you would have a frame of reference for naturally. Usually, if someone who is not a dark elf like yourself has one, there's a story. There's a reason why they have one. Yours and any number of your people would have one as a either heirloom or it was made for them by an artisan of their own people. It is like the culturally significant sword for your people. So this is very odd that he has one.
So I'll say, not usually in hands such as yours.
I didn't steal it, if that's what you're asking.
I just know that there's usually a reason somebody carries one. I imagine there's probably a story there. We all have stories.
I suppose we do. You and your sister? Right.
Cousin.
Timothy's going to say with his eyebrow raised. Cousin. traveling then.
We are tracking a lead. And you?
Just getting my bearings.
How much of this conversation would James be able to hear?
Oh, James, you're not very far from these people, roughly 40 feet. Timothy's a little bit outside of earshot range. Go ahead and give me a perception check. And if you're actively listening, I will go ahead, for the purpose of this, they don't seem to be trying to hide it. I will lower your DC.
Yeah, James is trying to actively listen in a little bit while still working on his woodcraft.
Very nice. A 20. Yes, you've heard this whole conversation.
As this conversation goes a little bit, James gets up and throws all the wood snippets he made in the fire that was in front of him, and walks over to the empty chair that was at the bar.
To sit on something that is, yeah. There you go. You got it.
Yeah, shift. He sits down. Could I get a sandwich?
Sigrid comes over and says, "Absolutely. You can actually buy one, and it'll throw one into your inventory through the menu inside that shop in the journal."
For me, the shop is currently closed.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
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 So it is. Open! Open the shop. Okay.
Definitely makes it a different story if the shop's closed.
It is now open.
I can see.
Yeah, for some reason, the clock is just not in sync. It is not 1:30 in the morning. It is, in fact, 6. It's almost 7 in the morning. The date is correct, though.
Well, I am getting a pop out, but I cannot read it because this window is in front of it. I believe I didn't bought anything yet. No. Let's try that again. One sandwich, please.
One sandwich, please.
Cannot transfer item. James or Norris cannot afford it.
James and Norris, do you have money?
But no, 14 risk, 2 core, 3 zinc.
Okay, you should be able to afford that. So I'm just gonna add more.
Yeah, with 14 writs, that better be a hell of a sandwich.
Yeah, I just broke it down to give you more silver pieces. Good thing we're breaking this so I can fix it later.
I can still not buy this.
Okay.
I just want a sandwich.
I just want a sandwich! Okay, I updated it to silver pieces. See if it can do that now.
Yeah, I can buy it now.
Mother of God. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to just frickin' change the prices in all of the shops I made to reflect standard D&D shit.
I also have a bad. I also have bad news.
Uh-huh.
It didn't reduce my money.
Great.
3 sandwiches.
Great.
So
Wonderful. I reduced your money.
The cash register's broken.
Yes, the cash registers. She slams the cash register shut. This damn thing his just and then she goes and she gets you a sandwich, makes you one, comes back and gives you your sandwich.
Thank you.
Might be why the inn's doing so poorly. Poor
Set-
money management.
Yeah,
Yeah.
has nothing to do with too many systems trying to overlap each other. Too many computers, systems doing stuff on Foundry. Everything's broken. Okay.
Anyway, James just sit there, shares a quick look, and then just enjoys his sandwich without saying much else.
Now that Sigrid's back, Timothy will motion her over real quick to get her attention whenever she gets towards the side of the bar.
Okay. Yes, can I help you?
Sigrid, do you happen to know, in the last couple of weeks, has there been any large movements of armored personnel through the city?
I would say sometimes. Let's see. A couple days ago, I want to say like maybe a week ago. A week ago, yeah. The Charon took up residence again in the tower. Nikolai Charon, I think his name is, was appointed governor of Sorath province, and his cohort took up residence in the area. Yeah.
Is it something that Vera and Rianne would know, being military, and could speak to?
Yeah. So this is something that happens quite often. Every few years, the governorship of the various provinces shifts. It's usually appointed by the monarchy. When these nobles usually take control of the province, their troops, their own house troops, will move in if they have any, depending on the strength of their standing army. You know, they won't leave their own duchy unprotected. The Charon, however, have a large military force of their own, and they are well staffed and able to come into the city and act as an auxiliary to the garrison. The garrison here has two specific battalions, or three specific battalions. They are the 2nd Gorgons, the 67th Night Raptors, and the 7th Wind Kestrels. They're all the garrison here in Sorath. So Charon house troops are auxiliaries. They're usually just there as acting as sort of an elite guard for their lord.
Okay. I'll ask. Are you looking for anyone in particular, or trying to find the barracks?
No one in particular, just seeing what movements have happened.
Oh, there's always movement nowadays. Have you served?
No.
She'll nod. She'll say, we're both knights if you need something in particular.
Do you happen to have any contacts within the guards of the city that maybe they've logged comings and goings?
DM, we've been to Sorath, yeah?
Yeah, you've been here.
I could probably point you in the right direction.
There's one person that you know by name, but they are not in the city specifically. They are outside of the city, just outside of it, at the training center. There's a friend of yours that is currently stationed there.
All right, I'll say all that and offer that information.
Well, you already know how much money I have, so what will this cost me?
Would this person also have the comings and goings of, oh, who's the brother we're looking for?
The one that is supposed to be here?
Yes.
Elithal?
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably not. Yeah.
Okay.
The person that you know is more of a mundane soldier as opposed to anyone important.
Mm-hmm. I do think the information you're looking for might also help us anyway. So that's something I think I'd be happy to kind of just do for free for once. I mean, it's military. It's my job.
Why are you here?
Looking for a relative. Why are you here?
I guess you can say the same.
Lots of looking at each other like, okay.
Sorry, I don't mean to be so unforthwith. It's been a long couple of weeks. Or a very short couple of weeks. Regardless, most things don't come for free.
Sigrid says, probably missing the point entirely. If you're looking for work that can provide money, there is a job board over there in the corner. And she points it out.
That's actually not a bad idea. Even just to see what's been going on. That's the answer to your initial question. She'll grab her ale and actually just walk over that way.
I don't know if you have the journal layer for you guys on the map layer. There might be like a bookmark shaped thing on your toolbar on the left. If that is there, you would be able to click it, and then you'd be able to see that there is an object right here that says job board. That job board is also in your journal. I will kind of show this really quick to all players. Oh, wait, why is it blank for you guys?
It's too early in the morning. No one posts jobs at 2 a.m.
Can you actually read what's in there if you go in the journal?
Nope.
No? What the hell?
Nope.
Yeah.
Configure ownership.
No. No. Never mind.
You can't?
Nope.
No. Okay. about now?
I can edit the title. That's about it.
That's about it. Okay. How about this?
Now I can see stuff.
Now you can see stuff? Okay.
Can you repeat again where I'm supposed to click? Because I think I've X'd out of everything to try to...
It's under the journal, under player journal Sorath quests.
Okay.
Yep, I see 2.
Yep.
I gotta fix this real quick. It just says you guys can use the enhanced journal. So I don't know why it's not letting you guys use the enhanced journal. Okay, you guys can see it though, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the
Mhm.
job board says, just for the edification of those listening, workers wanted, carpenters and masons to complete fire remediation work, normal day's wages for skilled laborers, half wages for unskilled laborers. Report outside Sorath Public Bathhouse for work at dawn. Laborers wanted, looking for hardy men and women to cut timber, day's wages starting at 5 zinc, lumber camp northwest of Ariane Straw. It's a local landmark. Attendant wanted, looking for a tidiness-minded worker. Report to the Sorath Public Bathhouse. Work consists of cleaning floors and baths. Wages start at 4 zinc per day. Strong backed wanted. Looking for strong workers for day labor at the warehouses. 4 zinc per day. Monster Slayer wanted. Seeking off-duty military personnel or mercenaries to slay a monster stalking my herd. See Lester Skirtborough.
Yeah, I grabbed that one.
Okay, you grab that one.
Bring it over to the bar.
Mhm.
Say to Rianne, this one practically has her name on it.
Yeah, she'd say, oh, does it now? And then we'll read it. Okay, so this one should be visible now. And yep. So now you should have a quest, an actual quest in your quest folder called Salamander Stalker.
Okay.
James, right now, what's going on with you while they're doing this?
James is quietly enjoying his sandwich, looking over his shoulder, seeing one of the ladies walk over to the job board and coming back with a paper. He himself hasn't read it yet, but seems quite interesting from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
With a half full mouth, he talks over. Do you mind if I join in?
Are you capable? And she'll also direct that towards Timothy, right? You never introduced yourself. I don't actually know your name.
My name is Jim Norris. And yes, I am quite capable.
Timothy will kind of think for a moment, like he's pondering. Will the
Slam
wages
on-
be split 4 ways?
Of course. I don't know what the bounty amount will be. It just doesn't say. Which can be a good or bad thing. But we don't actually have to take it if it's not equivalent to the work.
Well then, my name is Timothy, and I find myself quite capable.
Great. And she will hold out her hand, introduce herself as Vera. Vera Casa.
Rianne will introduce herself as Rianne Ver Ardesta.
It's a pleasure to meet you all.
You as well. Do you need some time, or do you want to find this Lester early?
I'm good. Timothy will finish his sandwich and stand up from the bar.
Okay. Vera will finish her drink, give Rianne a pointed look, and the two of them will grab that third drink, head out to the front of the bar, go outside,
Okay.
pour it out.
You pour it out on the ground.
Yep.
You have left your horses outside the inn as well. They're over there. Dusty.
Come back in, return the glass.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, we'll go retrieve the horses.
Okay. You go over to Dusty and Chamomile. I'm gonna have everybody step outside real quick. Oh my god, Deli Do.
Timothy will very much let everyone else go first and follow behind.
Okay. Horse. Okay, I think Chamomile is yours, Vera. Let me take a look at the controls real quick. Because this is pretty neat. Pretty neat. Okay. Oh my god, Delegate. She's getting picked up by my microphone all the way down here, too. Jesus Christ.
Gotta protect the house.
Yeah. We can still hear them through your mic, honey. There we go. Okay. If you walk up to your horse and you press M, you should... No, it's not working? Alright. Damn it. Nothing works. Nothing works. There was a way to do this where you could get on the horse, but it won't let me do it. So I gotta fix stuff now. Everything's broken, and I hate everything right now. Okay. All the modules are broken. It's probably because of the new updates. Okay, so Dusty and Chamomile and Vera, you guys mount up, and you go into the city. Alright, So this is our view of Sorath. Welcome to Sorath. It is a dreary little circular town. This is oriented in the same way most Corinthian cities are, with the gates at the compass points, if there are gates at all. The gates in Sorath are along the highway, so north and south. So when you address something as north, it's going to be, obviously up in the top half of something, right? Or in that general direction from you. This is where you guys are. This is your little token here. So you can zoom in right there. That is your token. That is the party. The party is at the Serpent's Head Inn. You guys are just inside town, like I described. You guys want to head south to try to find the Scirpo farm. There obviously aren't any farms in the north. So, you guys can also, whenever you'd like, question, citizens. These streets are full. It is the morning. People are getting up and moving about and going about their day to day. There are guards here and there, members of the Windkestrels or the other groups like the Gorgons and the Night Raptors. They're all kind of like wandering about in teams of at least 2. So, if you'd like to question anybody or move along, let me know. Okay, and Gabby, you're still muted if the dogs have calmed down.
Yeah, they have calmed down, and I have a mute in my headset, so I don't know why that wasn't working.
I don't know either.
But I did want to ask which way my contact for Timothy is.
So your contact is down here. This area here, including this building and these buildings, and this area here is the training center, this Set Track Training Center. I'm going to go ahead and put that in your journal now. The Set Track Training Center has some interesting history. It's a freshly constructed training center just outside the city of Sorath. It is responsible for training all new recruits in the Sorath province. It provides training for archers, infantry, and cavalry. And the nearby Sorath graveyard provides a good place for troops to practice tactics against the undead. So it is a vital installation. So you should be able to see that now in your journal.
Yep.
You guys want to start heading towards that? You want to go right or left around the moat around the tower? Go this way or this way?
I mean, whichever's quicker.
They're about equidistant is kind of the point.
And Leicester is also south, right? Is what you said?
As far as you know, that's where most of the farms look to be. There is a farm over this way.
Okay.
But you may want to ask some people some questions if you're not sure where to go.
So we can do training center, ask questions, figure out where Leicester is. And while we're walking, I'll turn to Rianne and say it's probably a little too early in the morning to try to find oh god, what's his name again?
Aelithal.
Aelithal.
Mm-hmm.
He tends to have late nights.
As far as you know, he certainly does tend to have late nights. Okay. You guys want to head west or east around the moat?
East.
Okay. So you head around the warehouse district, walking by these large warehouses where goods are being loaded in and out of as caravans and various other trade carts come in and out of the city. They usually stop by here and drop off goods or pick up goods. This road is heavily trafficked on this eastern side, as well as the roads in between these warehouses. So these are the warehouses. I'm realizing you can't see my ruler, can you?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Yeah. So lots of things are broken since the new update. Guys, Foundry updated recently, and apparently it broke stuff.
Foundry be foundry.
Yeah. So it broke a lot of stuff. Okay. So you guys should be able to see my lines now. There we go, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So yeah, these right here are the warehouses. This is the warehouse district. And you have just passed by the Eris district, which is here. This is the Eris This is the Eris district. This is the warehouse district. This right here is the Selgor district. This one, this very upper middle class sort of area. Or not upper middle class area for sure. The one you passed up here, Eris, is very much a poor district. So as you're coming into here, you start to see more merchants and more merchant-related shops, places that are, more or less where you'd find some artisan-level goods. Okay. As you continue along, you do spot that the drawbridge, or the bridge here, is in a down position. The gates are open. It does look to be very secure here at the gates outside the tower. And go ahead and roll perception checks, everyone. Okay. All right. So as you roll your perception checks, we see that there is a man down the road here, about 200 feet away from you. Timothy, you spot it, and Rianne spots this. This man is in armor. He is pretty tall. He looks familiar to you, Timothy. He has those eagle feathers coming off of his helmet. His armor is very ornate. And he's talking to several soldiers at the moment, and they begin to proceed into this area, which is a closed off neighborhood. This is Sophia District. The gates here are tall iron, about 8 feet tall, and thin, a little difficult to climb, but you could probably climb it if you had some gumption and a rug. They are, however, patrolled a little bit more often. You do see more guards around this neighborhood, and you do see that the entryways into this neighborhood have posted guards. So this appears to be the neighborhood where the wealthy have their apartments. All of these are apartment buildings in sort of a, I want to say, like French 18th century style. So we have tall square buildings that have 2-3 floors at most, with large windows, and many of the windows are also functioning as doorways. So in these places, they also have large verandas, or also sort of like a porch situation. Many of them have like tables and chairs, and where servants come and serve them tea and that sort of thing around the exteriors of these buildings. So it looks like a very nice place to live, this Sophia District, especially considering the grass is actually green in Sophia District, and everywhere else you've seen the grass is very dried out. And it has been the rainy season. So it should be lush and green, but it isn't. And that's what you guys notice as you're heading this way. You also see that these two buildings are markets. This one appears to be a general store right here, and this one appears to be a farmer's market.
The man that I saw, do I recognize where I remember him from?
You do recognize him, and you do remember where you recognize him from. I'm going to take them down here.
Friends, 3 dogs is a lot of dogs.
3 dogs is a lot of dogs. I have 2 of the dogs now. They are going to be quiet, right? You guys are going to be quiet? Go lay down. Leave them alone. Okay. So, yes, there's a general store and there's a farmer's market. How wonderful. So yeah. Anything you guys would like to do here? Timothy, you do recognize that man. You remember seeing him, and you believe he's very responsible for some stuff and things.
And I saw him go into that veranda district.
Yes, you saw him go into the filthy rich district.
Timothy will stay at the back of the group and try to do a better job of covering his weapon with his clothing so it doesn't stand out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As your group continues on, you do reach the stores here. Would you like to peruse them, or would you like to continue on?
Vera will glance by, not stop, but just kind of see what the farmer's market has and what the other stores have. Like,
Okay.
you know, do we have a potion shop? Is there someone selling tea? Like, for her, those are the key things.
Sure. This, just glancing by, no one's hiding anything. The farmer's market sells farm goods. So chickens, cows, flour, garlic, potatoes, all kinds of like food sundries and that sort of thing. The general store seems to be selling just from glancing through the windows, adventuring equipment, arrows, pouches, bags, quivers, rations, bedrolls, some clothes for your typical adventurer, like common clothes or traveler's clothes, tools for regular adventuring, like spyglasses and a sledgehammer, that kind of thing, and then artisan tools, so smith tools, dice sets was more of a gaming thing, but herbalism kits and jewelers too. That sort of stuff is available in the general store.
Okay, useful.
Okay. And you guys are still heading towards the training center, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys continue along, you exit the city, and you see a interesting place right here on the corner before turning off the road. There is a signpost, of course, that says that the training center is this way. Ariana's drop is also this way. Subsequently, the graveyard is also this way because everything's laid out in a circle. The building here has a sign that says Cricket's Bar and Grill. Appears to be some kind of restaurant. It is a small structure with smoke wafting from both of its chimneys and the yard, and the smell of delicious smoked and barbecued meats fills the air as you guys approach. It looks warm and inviting. Okay.
Looks like a nice spot for later.
Yeah. And you all continue along and head towards the training center, I assume?
Yeah.
Yep.
As we walk, I want to try to learn more about uh our other friend that tagged along who hasn't really introduced himself too much. So,
James?
yep.
Okay.
So however willing to answer the questions you are is up to you, but she's just doing the normal small talk prodding of like, what brings you here? What kind of capable are you? That kind of stuff. Maybe asking what you were working within the tavern, like that kind of stuff.
Raven will probably respond when they can. So let's go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and give them a minute. As you guys are walking and talking, you do see that this large tower here, sitting on top of this hill, has a good commanding view of the countryside and the city. You all are generally aware of what this local area looks like from your approach from the north. I'm not going to hide any parts of the general layout of the region. But as you approach, you do see that the training center is full of recruits who are drilling. They are doing your usual, typical military training exercises for the medieval era. They are training with pikes and spears. They're training with swords and shields. They are running in loops and loops and loops and loops as sergeants chase them and scream at them. They are doing push-ups in the grass. They are swinging around their weapons. They are sitting on the ground, tired and exhausted. This building looks like it's the command center, and these buildings look like they are barracks. And Raven, feel free to answer for James. Vera has been trying to get to know James.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you
Mhm.
now.
Uh, James Woods. Well, think for a moment, or he answers. Well, I am here to find some people. I don't want to go too much into detail. And currently, I have a good pouch with coin. I used to be what's it called again? A merchant.
What
Sounds
trade
like
were you
fun.
in?
Uh, I used to run a general store, but I'm quite good with wood carving.
What were you making earlier?
Just some simple tokens. He pulled a small wooden token out of his uh, pocket with a small little shield on it. I use it to protect myself.
I suppose you're equally as good as carving up people and monsters then as well.
Some days better than others, but I'm still quite good. and he pats the sword on his hip.
James and, or not James, Timothy and Vera, go ahead and roll perception checks. Vera, you kind of dismiss the blade a little bit, but it does look elvish in design. It is not a cusp saber like yours.
Mhm.
Timothy, that sword, you're fairly certain you've seen some like it in arms museum in Fordath when your family has gone there. It is a blade that resembles many of the blades that have been retrieved from skirmishes with elves, and not dark elves, but elves from the Empire. The elves that generally scare the hell out of you.
Hmm. Rather crash to be walking around with an elvish weapon, isn't it?
Well, I got it as a wedding gift from my wife. I don't see no harm in it walking around with it.
Vera will nod and say, "A blade's a blade. It's better than no blade." As we approach the training grounds, I'll kind of muse. Seems like we're all looking for somebody.
Well, why else would you come to a city?
Because they have tea shops.
He shops.
Okay, so are you gonna approach the headquarters, or are you gonna?
Yep.
Okay, so you approach the headquarters, and outside on the steps there is a man, looks just like in the token there. Blonde, tall, broad-shouldered, well-dressed. He sees you all, and he immediately turns to you and I want to flip this token. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. And he says, "Hello there. Welcome to Setrek Training Center. How can I help you?" Oh, where are my manners? I am Silver Knight Joaquin Redgrass. He bows.
Vera will step up and kind of insert herself into the lead role of this particular entry. Introduce herself as, I think she's a bronze knight.
Mm-hmm.
Standard appropriate levels of respect and greeting, and say that they are she's escorting those that want to look at the current comings and goings records.
Says, I see. And he is as I said, a blonde, bearded, tan-skinned gentleman. He appears to be about 40 years old. He's got some wisps of gray in his beard, and his head has a little bit of a shave going on one side now that you're closer to him. And he's got some eyes that are piercing blue. He fits his dress uniform very well. The epaulets on his shoulders are silver, and he's got some campaign ribbons. There's a first expeditionary campaign ribbon among them. He appears clean, well-kept, and smells slightly of oak. And yeah, he's about 5'9". And he he says, I see, the records of comings and goings. Are you specifically interested in the training center itself or the general area?
The general area.
All right, I can provide you with what I have. Do you have any particular authority that you're acting under?
We don't to the DM. We don't actually have orders or anything. We're on our vacation, I guess, trying to find Calvin. Or do we have any orders in particular?
You don't have specific orders, but you do know that when that the military and the nobility are very close, have a very close relationship, and you could possibly leverage your objective as a legitimate means to see the records.
Okay. I mean that seems to be better served for Rianne.
Okay.
So Rianne,
Rianne can say that if you'd like her to, since you're proxying for her.
yeah, hopefully Sin doesn't get mad at me. But yeah, I think she would pull out the Baroness.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for Rianne.
Okay.
DC is pretty low.
Can I aid and give her advantage as Farah?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right.
Give her the help action.
I'm glad.
14 is more than enough. He says, oh, I see, you're looking for him. I'll allow one of you into the records room. Which one would you prefer?
Oh,
Timothy will raise his hand.
He says, who is this man? I don't know him. The knight gestures broadly to Timothy.
Timothy will kind of clear his throat.
Vera steps up. She says, I'll go.
Acceptable. The rest of you, feel free to take part in some exercises if you'd like. Otherwise, I will return shortly with your comrade, and the Silver Knight will take you into the headquarters building here, and the guards will remain outside. And he'll take you down a hallway and into a room where he will have you sign a record book that you came, and he will allow you to view the records as you'd like.
Yeah, so I will quickly try to connect with my group and say, all right, who am I looking for?
Anyone.
Timothy will shrug and say any kind of troop or family movements, really. This is before she goes in.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, troop or family movements. James, are you looking for anybody?
Raven, are you there?
Yeah, my mind is going completely blank at the moment.
You do have you have an item in your inventory that could help you remember
Yeah, thank you.
Called missing person.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I am looking for Calvin Arroyo. Maybe I butchered that name.
Can you repeat it? Who'd you just say?
I am looking for Calvin Arroyo. Maybe I butchered that name.
You're looking for Calvin. Why are you looking for Calvin? Who are you? And she stares at you.
The game uh, takes off his backpack and takes a scroll out of it and hands it over.
And she'll take it. What does this say?
It says the noble house Ariosh requests the following from able-bodied persons. The noble scion and heir of House Ariosh, Calvin Ariosh, has gone missing. He was last seen alive in the region of Sorath. Please see Aelithal Ariosh in Sorath for more information.
I'll hand it back and roll my eyes and be like, I can't. I can't. uh, fine. Aelithal's on our list to find anyway. And we can find out how many of those he put around.
Okay. So you go, at this point, do you go in and search the records?
Yes.
Okay, make an investigation check for me.
Okay.
While she's going in, can we see which direction they went in
They went in
from the door?
and they went in and to the right.
And there's 2 guards up front.
Yep. But there is a woman who's wielding a claymore rapidly approaching.
And I point to the 2 guards over to the woods and say, I'm going to go use the bathroom real quick and kind of walk off towards the right-hand side.
They completely ignore you.
Sweet.
Okay. You head into the woods and leave James standing there by himself as a woman wielding a claymore approaches. Vera, you go ahead and search through the record room. It's going to take you about 10-15 minutes to find the records, even with the 20. You're looking for information regarding troop movements, family movements, Aelithal Ariosh, and Calvin Ariosh, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're going to have this little thing happen right here. Gotta find my page for her. Okay. Clad in leather armor and wearing a satyr short sword at her side and a shield, along with a claymore along her back, a large blonde woman who stands just shy of 2 meters in height, is approaching you, James. She is thinner than to be expected of someone serving in the military, and she keeps her hair in a long braid. There is a nasty scar near the left side of her mouth that eats into her upper lip, a slash or a gouge of some kind, and she has dark blue eyes and a perpetual smirk on her face. She kind of barks at you and says, "Oh, what's a civilian doing here? You here to sign up?"
I'm just waiting till my colleague. Nah, that's not the right words. Till my buddies are back.
She kind of narrows her eyes at you. Make a persuasion check.
Rihanna's still there.
Yeah, Rianne's
vouch.
still there. She kind of looks at Rianne, notices Rianne, looks back at you, James, and says, "All right, I'm Sergeant Evelyn Brandisnicht. If you need something, let me know. Otherwise, stay off the road and yield to moving troops." And she heads into the building real quickly, moving with a purpose. You do have time to stop and ask her questions if you'd like. However, she will continue to move unless you do so.
James won't ask any questions.
Okay. Timothy, what are you doing in the trees over here? What are you doing in the woods, man?
I'm kind of walking around the building, seeing if I can look in through the windows.
Okay. All right. So make a perception check for me. The building itself is a fortified building, so it follows a strict pattern. The first floor, you could say, is solid stone. There aren't windows to speak of. The upper level is a little set in a little bit from the first floor. It appears like there's sort of like a rampart of sorts, or a kind of like defensive outer ring around the building that is accessible only from the second floor. Sort of like a fortified position to fight from, regardless of where this type of building is built. There are 3 towers that are about... They would probably go up to like the 3rd floor. So the building in total is 3 floors from the ground. However, the 3rd floor is just the tower positions. And the rest of it is covered in either... I forget the word for these. They are wooden structures that are kind of sat over a stone wall. Hoardings. That's what they're called. And they're kind of like around the ring of it. So it looks largely like the second floor is either offices or defensive positions, and the first floor is entirely stone all the way around except for the entrance. And so from like needing to look into a window, you'll have to either climb a tree, or you'll have to like get up on this hill and then try to like look into a window.
Do I perhaps hear Vera and that knight talking at all, or any doors opening and closing as I walk around?
When you walk around, you kind of like hear guys on top of the wall talking about small talk, like the price of eggs in Sorath, or what their girlfriend is up to lately, or they can't wait to get off of duty and go into town and just drink themselves silly at the Serpent's Head Inn. That sort of stuff. You don't really see or hear what they're talking about. They might be in a room that is either secure, or it's definitely on the first floor.
So I guess I'll climb a tree real quick just to look into this first area and
Sure.
see if I see anybody.
Okay, yeah, you climb a tree. Easy enough. You're a full-grown man. You don't need to roll an athletics check to climb a frickin' tree. You climb the tree. You look in. I'll give you a chance with another perception roll.
I'm bad at stealthy.
Yeah, you're just kind of like up this tree, and you're looking over the wall, and this guard walks by, and he looks over at you, and he's like makes that motion of like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? I see you." And he says, "What the fuck are you doing, man? I see you."
Bathroom.
No, no. He's looking at you. What are you doing?
Really, it's the safest way.
He breaks out his crossbow. Come on.
Seriously.
make a. I don't think he's gonna be convinced with this. He's gonna level his crossbow now, and he's gonna say, "Get down."
Dominic's gonna get down.
Okay, you get. Okay, you get down. You hear him say, "Some fucking people."
And he'll head back towards the road, but stay in the tree line.
Okay. While those shenanigans are happening, you are brought into a room on the first floor, Vera. The room is kind of closed off. There is a iron door in front of it. It is locked. The Silver Knight takes out a key and he unlocks the door, lets you in, has you sign the record book. You take about 10 minutes looking for the wreckage that you're looking for. You find records specifically that have a lot to do with the comings and goings of the local noble families. So the earliest person to show up is Aelithal Aryash. He showed up maybe like 2 months ago. And he's been in Sorath ever since. Like, they've noted where he's staying. He's staying at the Serpent's Head Inn. They've noted where he kind of hangs out, which is he spends a lot of time in Sophia District, and he spends a lot, which is the rich part of town, and he spends a lot of time at the tower. He also tends to go to the boarding house as well, which is in the upper right-hand corner outside of town before like the wilderness area. So it's this one right up here.
Does it say that's where he's staying, or just that he goes there a lot?
He goes there a lot. So he visits 3 places: Sophia District, the castle, and the boarding house. He stays at the Serpent's Head Inn though, but who knows if he actually sleeps there. He's just registered staying there. So that's Aelithal. Calvin Aryash has been seen in the area, but he hasn't been located. He was seen a couple of days ago, probably on the 28th or 29th. Let me check real quick. Yes, the 29th. So 2 days ago, he was seen in the area. The other comings and goings are mainly House Charon. So there is a let me get my list here real quick. There is a Nikolai Vercharin. He is the current governor. He is listed as staying in the castle. The next person is Valentin Vercharin. He is listed as staying in Sophia District. He is a member of their cadet line. There is a Deves Vercharin. She is listed as staying in Sophia District as well. There's another nobleman who's listed in the area. His name is Count Milton Landress. He is listed as staying at the boarding house.
Okay. And as far as the sighting of Calvin, does it give any details of like where, how long,
No,
who noticed? Just that he was sighted.
Yeah, it's just that he was sighted.
Okay.
This information must have been passed on, from somebody else. It's not detailed.
Okay.
And the set track is kind of out of the way from like the main comings and goings. If they know anything, it's just they get updated by the garrison. The sergeant leaves the building.
All right, I'll commit some of those names to memory because I don't actually know all of them. So, a lot of House Charon.
Yeah.
And what was the last noble? Landrin something? Landris?
Landris. So it was.
Landris. Okay.
Yeah. Count.
And he's staying at the boarding house.
Boarding house. Yep.
Okay. I think I got it.
Valentine. Sharon. District. And the last one was Halethal. Let me make sure I spelled that right, because his name is a pain in the ass to spell. A-E-L-E-A. Yep. Okay. Those are the facts that you receive with your 20.
Okay. So I will close up, make everything look nice and clean, head back out.
Okay. You head back out and rejoin the group.
I do have to know, has our friend Timothy made it back yet?
Timothy, are you kind of like lurking in these trees?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth roll for me, please.
My specialty.
Remember to do it at disadvantage because you're heavy armor. As the sergeant is going by, she turns and spots you, kind of lurking in the trees, and she says, "If you can stop lurking in the trees, it would be really helpful. I do not want to have to kill anyone today."
Looking for the bathroom.
It's all around you. Just whip it out and go.
What do you think I'm doing?
Lurking.
Timothy's gonna start undoing his pants.
Okay, she kind of stands there and watches.
This is gonna be one of those dog moments with unbroken eye contact.
She's got like a sneer on her face.
I can't go with you watching.
I can't leave until you go.
Please make this a performance check.
Dominic, Timothy, you have peace dress.
I'm gonna put my pants back on and go back to where my other party member is.
Okay, you walk back to the group. Vera is like leaving, and she kind of catches this whole exchange, and you both kind of rejoin the group together. The sergeant continues on with her day. She is ruining some poor recruit's life over here.
So I've got names, I've got movements. I'll turn to Timothy and say, nobles and houses. There's a lot of Sharon in the area if you care. They're all in Sophia District. Nikolai is in the tower. There's a Milton Landris staying at the boarding house. Fairly recent, right? Is what I read, DM?
Yeah, he's checked in. He's
checked in recently.
Yeah, they keep track of the nobility coming and going just for their safety.
Aelithal, it has been here for about 2 months. He's listed as staying at the Serpent's Head Inn, but he tends to visit Sophia District and the boarding house quite frequently. And Calvin was seen 2 days ago. There are no details about it.
Thanks for the info.
Yeah, thanks.
No, hopefully he didn't get into trouble while I wasn't there.
Nope.
I mean, you can make a deception check, or somebody can insight that if you'd like. I won't force the issue.
Timothy is terrible at lying.
Vera absolutely knows.
If you guys want to broad stroke it like that, that's fine.
I mean, there's obviously residual P stress on his face. That's just that's
Ooh.
you know.
That was a nat 1.
Yeah.
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 I'm so glad that I said make that a roll.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, you guys depart, and you want to lurk? You want to do something else?
We were gonna head towards the farming areas to see if we could find this farm Lester.
Yeah.
Since we were headed in that direction anyway.
You begin heading in that direction, and you are kind of waylaid a little bit by this individual. You hear them approaching from the road, got their helmet off, and look a little dusty and covered in dirt, and she says, "I thought it was you. I'm sorry." And she kind of salutes real quick. You have to salute back, or I can't stop, ma'am.
That seems long enough, and then I'll salute.
Okay. And she says, it's good to see you.
You as well. How have you fared, in Sorath? You look well?
Yeah, I got out of First Expeditionary. When we got back from that whole thing with the Scaldi, they kind of took my experience and decided I'd be better off teaching people how to, operate artillery pieces rather than getting blown up. So thankful for all that. Kind of can't wait till this war's over, though. Been assigned to Setrak ever since, though, so that's been good. And you see that she's got like a nice little medal on her armor there, which is new. She didn't have that before.
I see you have some extra accoutrements. What's that for?
Oh, that's... well, really, the honor is yours. I got that when we finished our thing. It wasn't really my mission, but, kind of tagged along with you, which I'm thankful for. That was kind of a rough time, but got a little recognition for that, so that was really good.
Yeah, that's great, and you definitely helped.
She says, "Who are your friends here?"
Well, this is my cousin, Baroness Rianne. And these two I've met in a tavern, and we all kind of agreed to follow the same bounty, so that's what we're doing.
Oh, I see. Okay. I've met some of my best friends in a tavern. Also, some of my worst friends in the tavern. It's kind of a mix and match.
I haven't decided on these two yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to lunch. Up here at Cricket's. Can I help you get oriented? Have you been in Sorath long?
Well, I know Brian and I just got in pretty much last night. But have you seen anything about Calvin? I was reading he was cited recently. Do you know anything about it?
You mean the um the Calvin Ariash? She kind of like nervously whispers.
I'll lean in and dramatically whisper back, "The very same."
Is it okay to talk about him with? And she kind of eyeballs the two men.
Well, apparently Aelithal's been putting bounties around, so yeah, everybody knows.
Okay. No, I haven't seen him. He didn't come around here. I mean, if anything, he's probably like either staying in Sophia District or he's moved on already. I don't know why he would stay here in Sorath.
Does seem strange.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to lunch. Have you been to Crickets yet?
We haven't. We just had breakfast at the Serpent's Head.
Oh, it's okay. Come on. And she's going to take you guys to Crickets.
Okay. Just because I actually forgot her name, I know it starts with C. Can you introduce her for everybody else?
It is Cara Doulahan.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this fucking thing's broken again. Hold on.
I discovered her wandering the streets during the Scaldi campaign, or the Scaldi short shot?
Yeah.
Short? Yeah.
Yeah. Short shot. It was one of the prologue games.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is Corporal Cara Doulahan. Okay, so her token is now on the map, and we're gonna put you and you and you and you on the map. There you guys go. Okay, and let's go ahead and this real quick. Okay, so you are arriving at Cricket's Bar and Grill. There are some nice smoke pits going on over here. It looks like no one is here yet for the lunch hour. It is not quite noon or anything like that. Though people do tend to take their breaks a little bit before and a little bit after. The building does appear to be more or less abandoned at this time from your position. We will pick up here next time because we're about 5 minutes out from our end of game period. I'm going to remove your hidden status there, Timothy. There you go.
Stealth is my specialty.
Yeah. Thank you guys for playing. You guys have any questions before we go?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
No, thank you.
All right. Well, we will begin here next time. I want to thank everyone who stopped by. It's 2 weeks. We will pick up here at this moment.
With murder.
Outside Cricket's Bar and Grill. And see you then. Don't forget to stop by and have a good evening.